Sometimes the hardest part in relationships, and I don't care what the relationship is, it could be romantic, platonic, it could be a boss, a neighbor, a peer, a coworker, a husband, a wife, a child. Sometimes the hardest part isn't giving more, it's knowing when enough is enough. So this weekend is going to stretch our heart wide open. And with it, there's going to be the temptation. There's going to be the temptation to overextend, to give too much, to promise too much, to indulge too much. We're being asked to look at where we are giving too much, whether it's our time, our money, our energy, our love, where we are giving this extra in our life, we are giving too much, how it's costing us balance, and how to regain the balance. So we'll break down the energy together. We'll start with the numerology, then astrology. Then we'll move to the cards. But first, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, for your love, for your support, for your time. And it's my intention, my hope that by the end of our time together, you now have more tools or more insight, deeper wisdom, so that you can go forward with a confidence, with clarity, with love. So, hi, I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly. Welcome to your weekend focus, November the 1st and the 2nd, 2025. Rabbit, rabbit. So, first day of the month, we want to say rabbit, rabbit, or maybe you have a different culture. Leave it into the comments so other people can learn our habits and traditions. Costs absolutely nothing and is supposed to bring in more luck. So, rabbit, rabbit. Now, before we jump into the energy of the day, we need to take a moment and look at the energy of November 2025. So, November is an 11 energy. So, right there, it is about letting go of what no longer supports us, has value in our life, and to make a promise to ourselves on a goal, a dream, a desire, a passion. And then to honor that promise by showing up consistently each and every day and giving it energy to grow, to grow, yeah, to become the success you can see it being in your mind. Now we add the 11 to the year 2025, which is a 2 plus a 0 plus a 2 plus a 5, which is a 9, which gives us a 20 energy, right? 11 plus 9 is a 20 energy. And the 20 energy is it's about your rebirth. It's about stepping into, I get more of an elevated rather than new here. I get elevated. Um, yeah, the 20 is allowing us a moment for to set everything into motion for a rebirth, or maybe it's setting healthy boundaries so that we are stronger, more capable of being and becoming who we are. 2 plus 0 is a 2 energy, and we know that the 2 is exalted because of the 20, right? So the 2 energy is, well, it could be about coming together, new relationships, new partnerships, deepening partnerships, friendships. But I don't want you to forget the more subtler energy of the 2, which is about the magic that surrounds you and the magic that is within. It's to take stock of your own magic and to start utilizing it for your benefit. Your your skills, your talents, your abilities. So today we have November the 1st, so we have the 1 energy, and the 1 energy is the I am. It's about the trailblazer, it's about the independent. It's about knowing that we're more than capable. Actually, maybe over believing in ourselves slightly under a 1 energy, because failure isn't even in our vocabulary. Our Our horizon expands. There's so much that we want to do and accomplish. And we don't sit idly and wish. We put action towards it. We start riding off into the sunset to meet our tomorrow. And if we look at the daily numerology, it would then be a 2 plus a 1 plus a 9, which gives us a 12 energy. Now, the 12 energy asks us to be in the moment, to not put too much emphasis on tomorrow or yesterday, but to simply be present in the moment that you're in. So let's say you're overdue on a card payment or an account payment of some sort. And you're overdue by enough that they're going to start phoning you. And so you worry. You worry that they're going to be phoning. You worry, you're constantly going in this fight or flight kind of energy, even though nothing is happening to you because you're too much in the yesterday of not having a way of paying that bill. Or you're too much in the tomorrow of what's going to happen to me next. What are they going to do to me? How can I survive if they even want like $10 a week more? So being in the moment also takes away, if it's not happening at that moment, if you're not on the phone with those people, it's not happening right now. What is happening? Are the kids playing in the park, in the backyard? Are you sitting down and having a nice dinner or a nice breakfast? Are you meeting up with friends? Did you have a great day at work? What's in the moment? And also, it's looking at where we have control in our life and where we need control. Oftentimes, we reach to control something in our life that it doesn't do us any good, except uses up our time, our energy, our resources, when we could be putting it towards our path, our purpose. Let somebody else do it. Maybe it won't get done as well as you could have done it, but it'll get done. And concentrate more on looking at controlling things that you actually have control of. Maybe you need to surrender to something. Maybe you need to take a few moments to meditate on a day like today. Maybe it's a time to look at the situations and events that are going on in your life from a more logical point of view. And understanding, when you don't have the emotion attached to it, how much different the solution may come to you. 1 plus 2 is a 3, and that is all about transformation. It's our mind, it's our voice, it's our communication, it's our curiosity leading our heart. Now on Sunday we have a 2 energy. So we just talked about the 2 in length because that is the monthly energy as well, right? So if we went to the daily, it would be a 2 plus a 2 plus a 9, which gives us a 13 energy. And I think we talked about that on Friday when I talked about Venus, and 13 being an extraordinarily lucky number. It's a divine abundance kind of energy. It's for receiving and giving. It's for love. It's for prosperity. 1 plus 3 is a 4 energy, and the 4 energy asks us to get our ducks in a row, to understand where our foundation may need some work, where we're giving too much or we're giving too little, to have a very balanced energy about us on which to stand, on which to go forward. Our moon is in, our sun, I guess I should start with our sun. The sun is in Scorpio. The moon is in, the moon is in Pisces for Saturday, but I think Sunday morning it's going to move into Aries. So if that's the case, Saturday will probably be more of a laid back kind of energy, get together with some friends, have some fun, some laughs, don't do anything too strenuous or overbearing or anything. And on Sunday is the day we'll want to accomplish. So get ready to start throwing yourself into a small project or whatever it might be. We will want to accomplish, though. As far as transits are concerned, Venus squares Jupiter this weekend. So we have a square. So it's hard to ignore the square's energy. Because when Venus and Jupiter are square, we're having this tug of war between love and limits. Now, Venus wants harmony, connection, beauty. Jupiter wants more. More joy, more happiness, more abundance, more prosperity, more generosity, more of everything. And really, it's a very beautiful mix. But it can easily tip into overdoing. We find ourselves overspending, overgiving, overcompensating, overpromising. And it could be all in the name of keeping the peace. Or we're doing it because we want to impress somebody or people. We want to gain their approval. We want to be seen and heard. Or it could be out of a guilt or a shame. So you're trying to compensate by doing more of this for them. And our heart wants to say, yes, of course. I'll buy the gift. I'll forgive the past. I'm going to feed the whole table. Okay. But we hear that whisper within that says, whoa, 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 slow down. We need to pay attention to that. That'll be our intuition saying, no, this isn't the right path. Put the brakes on. Let's think about this, okay? Because emotionally, this energy is going to make us feel as though our happiness depends on others. So we may try to hold everything together by being overly optimistic or trying to be more charming or giving too much in some way. But the square is saying that love expands easily when it's balanced with your own self-respect. So when we overgive in any way, we're hurting ourselves in some way. So it's balanced with self-respect. It's a weekend where relationships, finances, our self-esteem all intertwine. If we've been craving some kind of validation, okay, we might start to notice or see where we actually stretch beyond our limits. I think the biggest trap in this kind of energy is that we might want to fix everybody's problems. We want to make everything beautiful. We want to prove our love through falling on the sword, so to speak. But if we do things like that, we get burnout, okay? We don't get balance, we get burnout. So be cautious. Be cautious of going out and spending because you feel like it. There's an emotion pushing you to just spend on yourself. Or we'll make commitments like at the drop of the hat. We don't even think about it. We're like, yeah, of course we can do that. We'll work it out. Don't worry. Or we forgive somebody just to avoid the discomfort. And Jupiter magnifies everything. So the smallest imbalances that we allow right now can become an emotional tidal wave. Absolutely. This weekend is about understanding what is too little, what is too much, and what is needed, what is warranted. So ask yourself, what does it look like when it comes to my money? What does enough look like? What does too much look like? What does not enough look like? My money or my love or my time or my energy. We want win-win situations. But not where one is always winning and we always end on the losing end, sacrificing more than we need to, or even that should be asked of us. Okay, let's turn to the cards. Who do we have there? Oh, the Eight of Wands. Yeah, I think this is more of the monthly energy. Really, the horizon widens. We see so much more potential. Those ones are about to fly out there into the horizon in all kinds of places. And each one of those places will bring something more to our path, to move us forward, to make us more knowing. More knowing. I hear intelligence. I hear learning experiences. So sage wisdom. Okay. And shuffle the cards. Okay, underlying energy for this weekend is, look at this, the Chariot. Pull it back, think it through. Where does that path actually lead us to? By me working overtime for free at work, is that really benefiting me? I know it's benefiting my boss because he's got free labor happening. But does that benefit me? Or am I just working for um, less dollars per hour? Because they're paying me for 8 and I've decided to stay for 12. And now I'm burnt out, and now my relationships are all, it's like walking on glass all the time because everybody just seems miserable. Well, that's because you haven't been around, because you've been working 12-hour days and you haven't communicated anything. So this card here is the Chariot, and yes, with the Chariot we can ride fast, fierce to the finish line. But it's foggy and it's dark. And so we can't see our path forward. And we need to see what we are stepping into. We need to see, and I'm getting this visualized kind of thing where we have to think about our next steps forward very cautiously before we step into them. Because that's when we stop looking over our shoulder wondering if we should have went a different way, another way. So wait for the fog to lift. Wait for the sun to rise. Okay? This isn't an energy that says you have to push through anything right now. You want to create balance in your life. You want to stop giving your power away. Absolutely. You want to see your value, your worth. Absolutely. But you don't want to win them over by doing more than you should be. Or, sometimes we have that person in our life and we love them, but it always seems that they're showing up and knocking out on the door for the handout. And it's putting your finances at risk. The Star. Wow. We start with the Chariot and now we have the Star. So yeah, I think this energy is pretty, it can be pretty intense if we start noticing some of the challenges in our life where we may have been footing the bill unknowing to ourselves, or wasting a lot of extra energy. And most times these things aren't asked of us. We just do because our hearts are open. Now, understand the motives underneath what you're doing. Is it because you want to impress somebody? Is it because you feel guilty about something that happened, so this is the way that you're going to smooth things over instead of having a conversation? The Star card is making the impossible possible. The Star card is saying it's a time to truly believe in yourself, to really step into your dream, your passion, your wants, your desires. And if you thought you couldn't before, you might be very surprised to see that you can now. A door opens. A light comes in. Your faith is renewed in some way. Maybe it's just your belief in you and what you can do. The Wheel of Fortune is next. I kid you not. The 10 energy appears to tell us that we are going into a new season. This card has been showing up repeatedly for the last week, telling us that we are entering a new season of our life, that things are going to start getting better. In maybe a part of our life, maybe an all over kind of experience. So maybe we're getting more clarity, more focus on exactly what we want those steps to look like. And if you're going through a hard time right now, this too shall pass. Absolutely. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, she's kind of frugal. Well, I like her because you know what? If she needs something, she has no problems putting the money out for it because she knows that she is investing in her path and her path and yeah, her ideas, her great worth, knowing that money will work for her to grow the coffers, so to speak, fill the coffers. In this card, and especially after following the Wheel of Fortune card, it really tells us that the storm has passed. And sometimes after a storm has passed, there's that residue of the storm, depending on how big it is, right? The wind is still howling, or the rain's still kind of coming down, or the snow's still coming down, whatever it might be. That storm is now behind us. It's not going to pull a U-turn and come back. It's going to keep going away. And we sit there with our abundance right in our lap, knowing that what is ours cannot be taken from us. What is truly our abundance in life cannot be taken unless we give it away. Once again, we're going to find out if we are giving parts of ourselves away to gain some kind of acceptance, being heard, being seen perhaps. Now, in saying that she will put her money on anything first she will look at how can I do it without spending any money? Is it worth it? Okay, I know a lot of moms out there and they work full time and they don't have somebody cleaning their house for them. Why are you trying to double up on the work? Sacrifice the few dollars it's going to take to have that home cleaned. Work it into the budget because you could be using that time to maybe create another source of income. Maybe you start painting or sculpting or, making necklaces, whatever it might be for you. Maybe going out and being that handyman or the carpenter, the handy woman. Maybe you have a knack for building decks or fixing plumbing or, putting in that new ceiling fixture. So, what we want to do when we are spending our money on things like that we understand that they are now an investment on ourselves, into our path. Okay, I'm going to get a little sip of water here. And we will go to the ancient stones. Yesterday, it just blew me right away, huh? Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. We did that whole talk on Venus, and then what do? We pull the card that does the whole talk on Venus. I tell ya. Amazing energy. I love this deck. Okay. We have Temple, the wisdom within. Quiet the external noise. Now, I know we had this before because they say quieten, and it's really quiet. Quiet your external noise or the external noise around you. The wisdom within. We have Temple. Now I got a cool thing for next week. I'm signing the DNAs, so NDAs, right? Non-disclosure DNAs. But I don't think that I'm going to not make it here. If I don't the odd day, then I apologize, but I really can't see that happening. So, but just to let you know, if I go missing for a day or two, it's just because they're working me harder than they told me they would. Okay. We're making longer days, but we didn't need to do that. But, anyways, the temple is a place to commune with the sacred. The temple is in this card doesn't discriminate. All are welcome here, for it's the temple within, and we can access it every moment of every day. And while we're in the temple, if we're lucky, we may discover that the sacred lot is not just above us, it's around us, it's below us, and of course within us. Stepping into the temple is an act of going in, of not looking to the external world or outside forces for guidance, but instead accessing the wisdom that's always been available for us deep within. So this card is telling us to go deep in for the wisdom. I was telling you for the magic. So why don't you just do both while you're doing it? Okay. The Temple card invites us to prioritize the relationship we have with ourselves and others, to cultivate a daily and even moment-by-moment practice of going within. Of course, we don't need to be inside a physical temple to do this. The temple is a symbol for the temple that's forever been within, a resting place, a wise place, a healing place, a creative place, a safe place, a powerful place, an intuitive place. You can access the wisdom within right now by just placing your hand on your heart and breathing in and out deeply. You can access the temple within by gazing into your own eyes in a mirror. You can access the temple within by watching the sunrise. You can access it by sharing a breath with another. Only you hold the key to this temple within. This card is simply your prompt to remember that you can do so. The soul inquiry are, how are you being called to quiet the external noise and connect with the wisdom within? And we should all be taking a couple moments each day, just to breathe for a few minutes. And you can do it anytime you want. You're standing in line, you're waiting for the checkout, right? Just do that breathing while you're waiting in line. Watch how calm and collective you become. How much you just automatically just go within the flow. And all of a sudden you're through and it's like, did I pay for that? I can't even remember what I did. You ever do that driving? Did I stop at that light? Was it green? Was it red? Okay. The animals. Let's see who comes out to greet us today and what message they have for us. Oh, we have Silence of the Skunk. Silence of the Skunk. So, and this card came out, and immediately I thought, so is this energy asking us to have the hard conversations today? I don't think so. I think we have to figure out how we are going to introduce this to another. Are we just going to say no blatantly? Are we going to have that conversation of why? Do we need to have a conversation of why? Do I need to have that conversation with somebody else or me? So I don't think we just go gung-ho, even though we have a 3 energy, and that's why I hesitated, because we have that 3 energy, which is our voice, our communication. But we want our voice and our communication to be of sound mind, right? Of sound wisdom. So we want to think of the words we're going to be talking about. Absolutely. What words are we going to use? What will those words bring back to me? What kind of energy? Will they see my way? Will they argue? Anyways, meditate, quiet your mind, sense, respect, ego, and protection. Silence makes the real conversations between friends. Not the saying, but the never needing to say that counts. Well, I guess I should have just read that, right? The message for you to walk in silence, you may feel that in order to get through your situation, you need to act defensively or aggressively. And Skunk tells you that just walking in silence can be just as powerful. The skunk uses their odor to attract their own kind, and they use that same odor to repel those that they don't want near them. So choose the proper energy that you want to put into the universe in order to attract the right kind. And you don't have to make a lot of noise to get what you want. You just have to review the situation and act with respect and a sense that in time you will receive. And it's not about your ego, it's about your confidence. It's about knowing you are worthy, knowing that you are deserving, that you don't have to ask for permission to reclaim your power, to expect abundance, prosperity, love, good health, well being to all be at full disposal for you. So think about what matters most. And this weekend, think about the balance that needs to be in certain places of your life. Grow your confidence. See what's already there. Okay, that I think that's the one of the biggest things is a lot of people are trying to be better, and you know what, you already are. You just have to look within. You're already perfect in every way. The things that you think are flaws are not. They're there to make you unique, one of a kind, and original, so that you can walk that one of a kind original path that has been waiting for you all this time. All you need to do is look within and see your magic. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.